What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to the Friday live stream show on the Rain in Real Time channel. If you have not done so already, make sure that you like, share, and or subscribe if you have not done that either to this channel. As you know, I go live on the channel every single Friday, but of course, you know, I'm going live a little bit earlier today because I'm going to be a little bit preoccupied later on this evening, so that's why I could not go live at the time that I usually go live, which is at 4 o'clock. And I didn't want to rush uh my show. I wanted to take my time, especially with a couple of topics that I'm gonna be talking about today. So I'm gonna let people come on in, and you know, I'll get started about 2:10 with the discussions. So far we have Akira, Darlene, and Vulcan in the chat. What's going on? I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm just sending out the text to the community so people can come on in if they have not gotten the notification already, because you know the YouTube notification system is terrible, or it operates how it wants to. What's going on, 007 Spidey? Donna C and Mark, what's going on? My voice, the My Voice channel, what's going on? Hey, Brittany. Let's see who else. What's going on? Joseph, Maximus, Royalty, Marie, Wayne, Tatiana. What's going on? How's everybody doing? I hope y'all are doing great today. I hope everyone had a decent week. A lot of stuff happened this week, as we already know. And we're going to talk about some of that today. Pinky, JYB, what's going on? See what's going on. Who else is here? Letitia, Lauren, Ashton, New Life, Jamal Bay. I hope everyone is having a great day. I know that I am. I'm pretty much chilling right now. Now, in case y'all are wondering why I'm going live early today, it's because I actually got invited to a watch party to see the new Mortal Kombat movie. And I knew if I had my show at 4 o'clock, I would have had to rush it. And I didn't want to rush through this. I wanted to take my time because of the time that the watch party begins and because of its location. And I know that just to give myself time, I don't want to run into any traffic because it'll be rush hour or a little bit post rush hour, but I don't want to take the risk. 007, you be looking forward to the freestyle. Like it's almost like you be waiting for the end of the month to come so you can come on here and say what you have to or want to say. But that's the point of it, And I know you really look forward to. I think out of everybody who was subscribed to this channel, you are the one that looks forward to it like every single month. Like every time a Friday comes, you let us know that freestyle is coming up in this amount of weeks, or it's coming up in this amount of week or this amount of days. Ashton said episode 6 of Captain Falcon. He said Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier was something else. It was really good. I enjoyed it. The whole series, the whole season was very good. I enjoyed it. What's going on, Candy and Alana and Brother Sly? I've actually heard nothing. To be honest, I haven't really watched anybody review the movie yet because I didn't want to slip up and get spoiled by anything. And thankfully, I have not been spoiled by anything. And hopefully that can be the case for the next few hours, since I am going to see it this evening. And of course, I'm going to do a review on it, and the review will most likely go up tomorrow. I'll give it about 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get started. The My Voice channel says I just watched it. It's awesome. Well, that's good to hear. Like I said, I heard nothing but good reviews about it. I've heard the good that were good reviews, but I did not watch any of them. If that makes sense, I said I will go back and watch the reviews probably tonight or maybe tomorrow to get everybody's take on it. But I'm almost certain that this movie is going to be great. I don't like this is actually one of my anticipated movies of the year, especially someone who grew up in the era in which Mortal Kombat was, at it, in its beginnings. Alana said, "My BF is hyped to see the new Mortal Kombat movie, and he never showed me he was a fan before." Well, now you know. Now you know. But yeah, like I said, it's been an interesting week. A lot of stuff happened this week. A lot of stuff happened this week. Like you can't even just focus on one particular thing because so much has been happening, and the thing is still so much going on that I won't cover in this live stream. But if I do so choose to cover, it's going to definitely end up on my main channel because there's still so much stuff going on. Like it's like when one thing happens, then something else worse comes in right after it. Joseph said in other MK news, MK level won another award for best fighting game. Never played the game, watched different commentaries and watched people play it, and it looks phenomenal. And it's crazy to think that at one time Mortal Kombat was going to stop making video games, but because the franchise is so popular, and I guess they wanted to keep it going for a newer generation, they kept it going, which was a smart move because the game is very visually, it's stunning. Yeah, like you said, like darling, there's a lot of stuff going on. That's why, like, sometimes when people send me stories, like I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This week I got sent so many emails and stories for so much stuff that was going on that I literally had to stop checking it because and I didn't want to tell y'all to not send me anything, but I got sent so many emails and it almost felt like if I did a story or a video on every single thing someone sent me, my channel for a good 2 weeks would seem like nothing but trauma porn. And I don't want my channel to turn into that because that's stressful on the person doing the commentating. That's why when I like take like little trips or whatever like that, I do that as a way, not only because business has to be handled, because a lot of times those trips aren't leisure, but that's a way for me to get away from having to do a lot of these type of stories, even though I know they'll be waiting on me when I get back. So it's like it weighs on you on a mental scale. It's like you found out someone gets killed by the police, and then you found out someone got sexually assaulted by somebody else, and then you find out somebody kidnapped someone else. It's like it's a lot. All right, it is officially 2:10. So we're gonna go ahead now and get this stream started. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And I think many of you already know what's going to be the first topic we're going to talk about. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And that is the Derek Chauvin verdict. As y'all know, I told people I was not going to do videos about this on my main channel because I wanted to restrict it just to the live stream, mainly because it was going to be so many moving parts because of the trial and so much stuff was going to happen and everything like that. Now, the last time we talked about it, I said that this week coming up was going to be the closing arguments and the jury would deliberate. Now, I want to, before I go any further, put a 1 in the chat if y'all are shocked by the verdict. And be honest, put a 1 in the chat if you are shocked by the verdict that came out involving Derek Chauvin in his murder of George Floyd. So Tina said 1, 007 said 1, Vulcan 1, Voice 1, Maximus 1, Mark 1, Lauren 1, Brother Sly 2, Angela 1, Darlene 1, Wave Capel 1. So for the most part, the majority of you, with the exception of Brother Sly, said 2. I'm gonna be honest. I'm on the side with I'm a 1 and a 2. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm a 1 because I'm not shocked that he got found guilty of at least one of those charges. I am a 2 because I was only shocked that he got found guilty on every charge. That's the part I think that got me, was that he got found guilty on every charge. Marie said I won, but I shouldn't be. It was a cut and dry case. Honestly, this was something that should not have, in my opinion, have not even gone to trial, because it's not like the whole world did not witness what happened last year.
Right now, there was a major manhunt underway in the Hill Country for a former Travis County Sheriff's deputy.
Y'all. I don't know why this thing keeps unmuting itself for another story that I'm talking about. But like I said, the only thing that shocked me is that he got found guilty on every single charge that was laid out there. But the thing is, they could not afford to let this man just walk. They already knew the consequences of what would happen if they did let this man just walk away. Now, I told people, I said, don't get too excited just yet, because he won't be sentenced for another 8 weeks. So the sentencing for him won't be until June, because that's around the time when he's going to do it. I think for one of the charges, which is the biggest charge, he can face up to 40 years in jail. One is 25, and I forgot what the other one is. And let's not forget that he also still has those charges on him, those fraud charges with him and his estranged wife. So he most likely will be in court again from that. They show also, his bail got revoked. That also shocked me. His bail got revoked, so we was able to see them put the cuffs on him and be walked out of the courtroom and back into his cell, or into a cell. They showed a picture of what a cell looks like. It's a very small cell, has the basic prison cell amenities, like a little toilet, a bed, and I think a sink. Lauren says, so when are you going to do the triple P on him? After the sentencing. But that depends on what the sentencing is, because if it's a subpar sentence, I'm not going to do one. It has to be, I want him to get the max on everything. I don't want anything less than 40 years from him. Period. That's the only way I'm going to get a triple P. You're going to get a triple P out of me as it pertains to him. Darlene says, isn't he on suicide watch? Yes. Now that I'm definitely not shocked about. Yes, he is on suicide watch. And I bet what was running through his mind, he probably thought he was going to get away with it. That arrogance. There's just something about that arrogant nature that I just get from him, that he probably thought he was going to get away with it. But like I said, we're going to wait for the sentencing, and you already know they probably going to try to appeal it. I said, wait for them appeals, because them appeals is coming. But you had Palm Colored and them co-colonizing cohorts of theirs so upset about the outcome of this verdict. I mean, they were mad. I mean, heated. And I loved it. Kind of reminds you of what the response what happened back in the day with O.J. Simpson. Now, the other part of this is the other three terrorists that were there. Their trials are going to be in August. Now, here's the thing. Right now, they are on edge. The other three that was there with him, they're on edge right now. Why? Because Chauvin was found guilty of all three charges. If Chauvin was to say, walk away, hypothetically, let's say he was found not guilty on everything, then those other three would have nothing to worry about. But because Derek Chauvin was found guilty of all three charges, now they're really in the hot seat, which means there's a stronger chance that they'll be found guilty of whatever they're charged with. Now, of course, they're not going to serve nearly as much time as he will. Well, we don't know how much time he's going to get. They should be worried, though. They're worried now because he got found guilty in all three, but they should be even more worried depending on what he gets sentenced with. If he gets the max, then they probably going to be sweating bullets for real. I know the Coonstress wasn't happy about it. She's not happy with herself. That's a symptom of self-hatred. When you don't like yourself, you don't like anything pertaining about you, even if it's not about you. But as for those other three, I think people are going to watch their trial, but they're not going to be watching it as closely as they was with this one because they knew that Derek Chauvin was the main one they had to get. But now that they have got him and they got him for everything, now it's a strong case or a strong chance that all three of them will be found guilty of whatever charges they bring up against them. But like I said, they're not going to serve nearly as much time as he's going to. But should they be found guilty, they're going to be serving some time regardless. Hatred said they might let the agent cop off the hook, because of the whole Stop Asian Hate, and they got a hate bill passed, whereas they've been trying to pass an anti-lynching bill for over 100 years. They can try that if they want to, but I would tread lightly even with that, even with him being Asian, because people already don't like him, and it has nothing to do with him being Asian. It's just his demeanor. It isn't like he was Derek Chauvin's second in command. Like, I just did not like his the facial expressions he would make and everything like that. It's just something about him that was just off to me. Brittany said Professor Black Truth's impression of Ben Shapiro, or he said Ben Shit Show, was hilarious. It was. Like, when I was listening to his address last night, I was cracking up at that part. Like, that part had me in tears. I kept rewinding that part. I barely got through the rest of the broadcast because of it. Like, but yeah, that impression of Ben Shapiro was funny. If y'all have not seen it, watch Professor Black Truth's latest broadcast. And I forgot what the timestamp is, but just watch the whole thing. And it happens like at the halfway mark of the video. And it is hilarious. That impression of Ben Shapiro was funny and spot on. I think the part that got me was before he did the impersonation, when he said, I don't know what planet he's from. He do have a weird talking voice, though. He do sound like he's from another planet. Like some kind of extraterrestrial or something like that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it right now for Derek Chauvin. The next time we'll address Derek Chauvin will be in 8 weeks, in June, when the sentencing occurs. I don't know what's going to come of the sentencing. All I can hope for is that they give him the max. And I think that would be the smart thing to do, considering. So let me go on from one PC mail to the next PC mail. And that's this guy right here, Brandon Scott Hole, who was the mass shooter at the FedEx building. It said he killed 8 people in Indianapolis, Indiana. 19 years of age. and he looks older than 19. It's crazy because because when they put it out there that he did this and they didn't show his picture, and then when they finally showed his picture and this is what I saw, I was like, he just fits the description. But yeah, this is him right here. I'm gonna go ahead and read this article for y'all right quick. Brandon Scott Hole was identified by police as the 19-year-old mass shooter who killed 8 people and wounded more at an Indianapolis, Indiana FedEx ground facility on Thursday, April 15th, 2021. Hole died at the scene. I'm shocked that they killed him because they usually like to take him in. Police believe from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Okay, so he killed himself. Shoot, if he held out a little bit longer, they probably would have took him in. FedEx officials have confirmed that Mr. Hole was a former employee at the facility and he was last employed in 2020. That screams to me that if he was a former employee and he was fired, maybe he was fired or let go, whatever the case may be, this was a retaliation shooting. Deputy Chief Craig McCart said in an afternoon news conference. He said there were at least 100 people in the facility at the time of the shooting. Many people were changing shifts and some were on their dinner break. Hole was fired. Okay. Family from FedEx, family and friends told Fox 59 reporter Angela Ganote. The reason is not clear. The suspect's full name is Brandon Scott Hole. He lived in Indianapolis, Indiana. The mass shooting broke out in the parking lot and facility near the Indianapolis airport. Reports emerged of people hiding under conveyor belts and being shot in an office and parking lot by a shooter armed with a rifle or a machine gun. The weapon was a .223 caliber rifle, according to dispatch audio. He was described as a lone gunman in a hoodie or hat who started randomly shooting in the parking lot before going inside, where a cell phone ban policy stopped some terrified workers from calling for help. A lot of people were mad at this part right here. That cell phone ban policy, they said that because of that, a lot of people weren't able to call for help. Could you imagine how many people probably could have been saved if they didn't have that policy right there? They're going to have to look into that. Because I know when I used to work at the airport, we weren't supposed to have our phones on the floor. Now, when we was in the back, we could have them because no one could see us. But I truly believe that you need to have your phone on you because you never know what type of emergency issue could be happening. And this right here was an emergency, and then people couldn't call nobody. That's why he was able to fire off the way that he did. I mean, they said this guy was starting to fire off in the parking lot and then carried it inside the facility. Could you imagine if people was able to have their phone, how fast the emergency crews were able to get there if they were able to have their phone with them? I'm gonna be honest. Every job I've worked where they had some kind of a cell phone policy, I always went against it. I'm gonna be honest. Brother Sly said, I bet they also had a no firearm policy in the workplace too. Well, see, that's the thing, Brother Sly. As a person who was a former employee, that was no longer his place of work, so he didn't have to abide by said policy. It says when police arrived at the scene, they found the wounded in cars inside an office and the facility around the parking lot, according to the scanner, which you can listen later to in this story. Authorities described the situation as an active shooter incident at one point on the scanner. CNN described the mass shooting incident. Okay, let me see. I'm going to skip it down a little bit. And this right here, all the victims. So the youngest was 19, which were the same age as him. These two right here. And the oldest was 68. So the 5 things says authorities were warned about Hole before and seized a shotgun from a dangerous person. So look at that. They were warned about him before. And I think they said that his mother was the one that did the warning. I've heard so many I've done so many stories over the years where you've had these active shooters do stuff like this, and you will have their parent come out and say, I told authorities about my child before in the past, but they never listen. I told them that they had issues, but they don't listen. And now it's too late. What's going on, HD Squeezy? But yeah, they said that they were warned about him. but they did not heed the warning. And now 8 people are dead and others are wounded. It says CNN's Anna Cabrera reported that the suspect Brandon Scott Hole was on authorities' radar before the mass shooting. The suspect in the Indianapolis mass shooting was known to federal and local authorities prior to the attack. So he was on their radar. They knew of him. They knew he had a history or had the potential to do something like this. But because he never acted on it, they gave him the benefit of the doubt. They said a family member of the suspected shooter reached out to authorities, and I believe that that person was the mother, reached out to authorities warning about the suspect's potential for violence, according to 3 law enforcement sources briefed on the matter. They said that he might try to commit suicide by a cop. They said the authorities seized a shotgun from his home. And he was interviewed by the FBI in 2020 in April. He was placed on immediate detention mental health temporary hold by the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. He said he wasn't found to be associated with racially motivated violent extremism at the time. Let's see. Look at this. It says he was confirmed through a family friend and police report. Excuse me. The FedEx shooter Brandon Hole was taken via police to hospital on March 3rd, 2020. His mom and sister were there. Police took a pump action shotgun. Report states Hole purchased the gun within 24 hours and voiced suicidal ideation. He was found in a couple police reports, one from last year and one from 2013. A gun was seized from the one last year. I'm just kind of skimming through it because it's a lot, but y'all pretty much get the gist of it. He was under their microscope. Number 2, responding officers said they found Hole dead at the scene. Authorities were searching an Indianapolis home tied to him. I'm gonna kind of skip through that. A witness said the shooter pulled a gun out of his trunk. The dispatch audio captured terrifying scene as officers kept finding more victims. And this right here are all the people that he killed right here. They said they found more victims as they searched the premises both inside and outside the FedEx facility. Number 5 says video shows the chaos at the scene. I'm not going to play that. But y'all pretty much get the gist of it. It was a lot going on at the facility that day. But the fact of the matter is he was on the FBI's radar for over a year. And he just slipped right through. And see, they should have been on it. The minute that he got fired from his job, from working there, they should have been on it. And I would not be surprised if this was premeditated. Because think about it. It's not like he got fired one day and then went back up there the next day and just started firing off. He got fired late last year and went up there this week and did this. So that, in my eyes, I think he planned it. I truly believe that he planned this. This was in my opinion, no spur of the moment type of deal. I'm reading some of the comments. KGR said Phil main channel. He said Phil main channel got deleted, got terminated. When did that happen? When did that happen? Because I'm subscribed to both of his channels. I'm subscribed to his like his personal channel where he does like a lot of celebrities news. Then I subscribe to his other channel, the African Diaspora one. So which channel is it? Is it his personal channel or the African Diaspora one? Wow. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it after this stream. Okay, so you says the main one gone. The main one is gone. That's crazy. But yeah, oh, so you said, oh, so is then it would be the African diaspora one. The African diaspora one, that's the one that had like 1 million subs. The other channel that he has, like his personal channel, that one, that's like a channel that he's just kind of like still in the growth stages. Okay, so I'm confused. Okay, some people are saying it's the one with the 1 million subs, which is the African diaspora channel, but that couldn't be it. Then now I'm seeing someone say that the news one is still there, so it has to be his other channel, his channel that he just has named after him. The one I was saying that he talks about like different celebrities and stuff like that. It has to be that one then. Which I think now looking at or thinking about it makes sense because I didn't see any videos coming from that channel, but you said it happened today. Hatred, you said Phil was the first black. Well, I have to correct you, Hatred. He was not the first black YouTuber to reach 1 million subscribers. Now, if you want to say the first black YouTuber to reach 1 million subscribers that talks about what we talk about, then I could probably say, yeah, but he wasn't the first black YouTuber ever to hit 1 million subscribers. Okay, so the big channel is the one that is gone. That's crazy. What's going on, Blacklight Revelations? I don't know who the first black YouTuber was that hit 1 million subscribers. To be honest, you got to go on Google and find that out. But anyway, oh yeah, I'm glad you said that, Blacklight Revelations. Before I move on to the next story, some news site or maybe multiple news sites had the nerve to say that this Brandon Scott Hall liked My Little Pony. Like, what did that have to do with him committing a mass shooting in the way that he did? When I saw that, I said, are you kidding me right now? Like, what does him liking My Little Pony, which at his age, it seems very strange to me. But what did him liking My Little Pony have to do with anything? I guess they try to make it seem like I'll put him in a childlike state because they gotta de-age or make a child out of PC, especially PC males when they commit wrongdoings. Like that kind of just weirded me out when I saw that because there was a picture of him and it had a picture of one of the characters from My Little Pony next to it. I was like, okay, yeah, y'all real reaching for that. But yeah, I thought that was just weird to me. But let me move on to the next story. And this is right here. This is another mass shooting incident right here. Now, this one right here did not involve PC. This involved a black man who used to be a former deputy in Austin, Texas. It says former deputy accused of killing 3 in Austin, found walking along Highway 290, arrested after manhunt. Now, here's the shocker right here. He was taken in alive. Okay, I see what you mean now, Blacklight Revelations. You said about it's actually a symbol for something else. Okay. It says 3 people were killed in an active attack in Northwest Austin. Like I said, all of this stuff that y'all are hearing about right now all happened this week. That's why I said I cannot do every single story that y'all send me. And I think this is one of those stories that somebody did send me. Authorities captured 41-year-old Stephen Broderick early Monday near Manor, just north of Austin, after receiving a 911 call about a man walking along Highway 290. He was taken into custody without incident. Broderick is a former sheriff deputy accused in an active attack in Northwest Austin on Sunday. He remained at large for a day, but police said they believe the killings were an isolated domestic situation with no risk to the general public. 3 people were killed in Sunday's attack, and it was a domestic thing because all 3 people that he killed were related to him. I think one of them was I want to say his wife. One was his daughter. And I think another was a son. I can't remember, but I do know that he knew all 3 victims. This was not random. These were all people that he knew. It says KVUE's Tony Plahetsky reported the shooting scene was at an apartment. Nearby residents were asked to shelter in place at the time. When officers arrived, they said they located 3 people who were injured. Austin Travis County EMS said the individuals had suffered gunshot wounds and medics performed CPR, but all 3 died shortly after. Police said the victims were 2 women and 1 man. And this is the guy right here who they captured. I did hear about that Black Light Revelations. And I think they said that the family member that he sexually assaulted was his daughter. Like, this guy got some serious issues. It says the Travis County Sheriff's Office confirmed Broderick resigned from TCSO in 2020. Previous reports show he was a detective with the department. Previous reporting by KVUE's partners at the Austin American Statesman also indicates that Broderick previously worked for the Bastrop County Sheriff's Office as an investigator. Broderick was also charged with child sexual assault last year. He was booked in jail last June and was released 16 days later after posting a $50,000 bail, according to the Statesman. The Travis County District Attorney's Office announced on April 18th it had filed a motion to revoke that bond. After posting bail, he was ordered to have no contact or go to within 200 feet of the child. He was also ordered to wear a GPS tracking device. The report states a Travis County judge ordered the removal of the device on November 5th. The Statesman reported that Broderick's lawyer argued that Broderick had worn the monitor for 142 days with no substantial violations and that it should be removed. A state district judge agreed, which the Statesman reported left him unsupervised months after his daughter and wife stated that they fear for their safety, with him released from jail. In other words, his wife and his daughter did not stand a chance. Like, the guy just had some serious issues. And like I said, what's going on, Jerome? Apparently, allegedly, the person, like I said, who he sexually assaulted was allegedly his daughter. But yeah, so he killed the wife, the daughter, and I want to say it was the daughter's boyfriend that he also killed. Just some crazy. And as I'm talking to y'all right now, my residual check just hit my account. So I'm happy. I'm happy right now. My residual check just hit my account. But anyway, back to this. Like I said, it's some sick people in this world. And like, you at this point, you really can't trust anybody. You really can't, not even family at some times. And the fact that this guy used to be a cop, could you imagine what it was probably like living in his household? Now, if it was anybody that they should have put down, it should have been him. It should have been him. And look, it says he was released 16 days later after posting a $50,000 bail. Look at how low that bail was. And he did it 16 days later, which means he knew he had that money. He knew he had the money to pay that bail. He was like, $50,000, that's nothing. Now, this is one right here. Like I said, if he had got put down for what he did, I would not have felt bad. And now, because they did not do what they were supposed to do when it came to this guy, now 3 people are dead because of him. And one of them he helped bring into this world. But hopefully they get it right this time. Like and this has happened in Texas. So hopefully, he gets the most stiffest, harshest punishment they can possibly find. But let me go ahead and move on to the next one. Now, this one right here is gonna like piss y'all off. Now, this one actually has volume. So hopefully y'all ears are working and your speakers are working as well. Let me go ahead and get into it. Oh, we are back talking about Patrisse Cullors con artist, whatever. So y'all know I did a video talking about her in 2 different videos where she pretty much got exposed for, in my opinion, misappropriating these funds to go and spend money to go get these homes and whatnot. Well, now this other video came out with her a few days ago where she literally cut the Jubilee jig. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna play the video. This is off of Tariq's Instagram page, and prepare to just be utterly disgusted.
My name is Patrisse Cullors, and welcome to Fuck White Supremacy, Let's Get Free with the Hammer Museum. I want you all to step in wherever you are and do the electric slide with me. This performance is for every single person who is being impacted by white supremacy, every single person that's being impacted by COVID-19, by sexism, homophobia, transphobia. Let's dance together.
I'm not laughing because this is funny. I'm laughing because it's a joke. Like this is secondhand embarrassment right here. So your idea, Patrisse, is that in order to get free of Dub S is to go outside and do the electric slide. First off, her cankles was annoying me. Her cankles annoyed me. All I saw was jiggle, jiggle, jiggle for every step that she took. And the ground might have quaked a little bit too, and she's out in California, so that's par for the course. Like she actually literally went out there and did what we just described people as doing. She actually did it and had a whole ad to push about it. Let's go out and be free. Say F white Dub S and do the electric slide together in harmony as one. And that way we can get rid of racism and Dub S and homophobia and sexism. You notice that she made sure to really dive deep into the Academy's trick bag. I'm going to read what Tariq wrote in his caption. He said, these plantation flunkies from the white-controlled hashtag Black Lives Matter organization get paid big bucks to exploit the deaths of Black people and conflate our fight against systematic white supremacy with other issues so that white hashtag LGBT and immigrant groups can get in on the exploitation of dead black people as well. This clown ish right here, and he put 3 thumb down emojis. Sorry, Light Visions, that you lost those 2 minutes, but y'all just had to see that. Like, that was embarrassing. And she did all of that with that muumuu on, some chucks that she probably had to squeeze on, because I know her ankles are probably screaming right now. What's going on, James? To do the electric slide, and this is her way of getting free. And she did it all with the smile. Like, it literally was like watching a whole minstrel show in a 2-minute ad, or however long this ad was. And she really thought she was doing something. She really thought that she was doing something with that. And it's amazing that she can do all of that while she knows what she did with that money was not what she was supposed to do with that money. I'm like, you can do all that electric sliding and all of that, what you just did, but we on your ass, Patrisse. When it comes to that money, we on you. And like someone else said in the chat, this is why Tamir Rice's mother, Samaria Rice, and Michael Brown's father, Michael Brown Sr., came at their neck. Sonia, I know she's married to another woman. When I did my video about her, I talked about her wife, and it's crazy. Her wife, looks like a dude. I mean, I saw the writing on the wall when I found out who were the founders of so-called BLM. When I found out that they were 3 black women in Hall L of the Academy. And then all of this stuff starts to spiral out now. It all makes sense now. What their goal is, what their end game is. And then you look at their website, it all makes sense now. It been made sense, but it really, really has come full circle now. No, her black tips. No, her wife is black. She's light skinned. Her she's black though, but she's light skinned. Tina said not only Hall L, but non-FBA as well. Right. Like, she can take this crap and shove it up the crevices of wherever. Hatred is a river that says the Black Alphabet Mafia is angry at the larger black community because, frankly, most of us are not down with their lifestyle. And it's not only so much not down, but also many of us just don't care. It's like, okay, it's not like you're the first person that's been in the academy. You're not going to be the last. So it's not like, whatever. And then many of you in that academy have tried to burn many people who's in the larger majority of the black community by saying we're this and we're that phobic. Or that most of the homophobia or whatever comes from black people, specifically heterosexual black men. And then you try to mislabel us and put that word cisgender in front of it. And black women, y'all really need to watch how you hang with them, because I found out when they be calling y'all that word fish, what that means. That is very disrespectful. If you ever hear a black man, any man who's in the academy, but specifically black men who call you that, you need to literally snap, crackle, and pop his ass in the mouth. Because I looked up what that word means. Jane said intersectional BS is... Yeah, don't bring that intersectionality crap my way. I've been told people don't mention that to me at all. Yeah, James, fish. Look it up. But go to the Urban Dictionary version of the word. Like, don't look up the regular dictionary because it's going to tell you about the fish in the water. Look it up on Urban Dictionary what fish means, and you'll find out that it's very derogatory to women. And I only ever hear mainly black men in the academy say that word to actual biologically born women, and this is very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. James, did you look it up? Did you go to Urban Dictionary and look it up? Because I can, by your response, I'm guessing that you saw it in okay, so yeah, okay, there you go. There you go. I'm not gonna say what it is on here, but just know that is very derogatory. I'm not gonna get too too deep into it, whatever, because that's not really why I came on here to address Patrisse. I just wanted to talk about her with this silly ad. It's just the fact that she's a part of the academy, and then it just led into that conversation, and it's that. But let me get off of this. No, you don't have to be sorry. It's that you didn't know what the word meant, and I just wanted you to go look it up so you can find out for yourself. But let me go ahead and go to the last story, which literally has been captivating the airwaves since Derek Chauvin got found guilty, and not too long after he was found guilty, and that is the Makiyah Bryant case incident, because I can't call it a case just yet. I'm gonna say incident. This story right here is like, let me put it like this. If this was a story that I could avoid having to talk about, I probably would have. I'm just being honest. If I could have avoided talking about this story, I would have. Now, this came out shortly after what occurred with Derek Chauvin and his verdict. Like, literally, after, it's like people didn't have enough time to really register that this man was found guilty on all three charges in the murder of George Floyd before, within the next hour or two, this story comes out. And it was like, oh, here we go. And you want to know what's so crazy? Not to like shift gears just a little bit, but just a little bit. Have y'all noticed an influx of shootings that have occurred by the police against black people since that day? Like, it's like they're popping up everywhere. I think there's probably been about, that we heard of, about 4 more shootings that have occurred since this one. Like, they were happening like one behind the other. I think the most recent one was the guy down in North Carolina that just happened. I forgot his name. It was Andrew something. I saw it briefly somewhere before I started up this live stream. That was the most recent one that I've heard. Or was there one in Virginia? I can't remember. It's so many. That's why I keep telling people I can't do every single story, because if I do, my channel will turn into trauma porn. And if it's not a shooting happening by these cops, it's another mass shooting being committed by you know who. All happening at one time. But anyway, this story right here, of course, like I said, came after what occurred with the Derek Chauvin trial, like shortly after in Ohio, which is like, I can't think of my geographical surroundings at the moment, but I think it's like the next state over or a couple states away. Like they're kind of like in that vicinity, but not really. Where you have this 16-year-old girl whose name was Makiyah Bryant, who got killed by this PC cop the same day as the Derek Chauvin verdict being read. Now, the story is that she called the cops because some individuals were coming to her home to jump her, to attack her. And she called the cops because, she said she needed the assistance. She said they're coming to jump me. They're coming to attack me. Now, mind you, Makiyah is in foster, or was in foster care. It's crazy. I have to talk about her in past tense. Makiyah was in foster care. Now, anybody who has seen group homes knows that it is wild in there. I remember a couple years ago working at my job. There was a basketball game. I think it was a WNBA game. I think, or maybe it was an NBA game. It might have been both. And I was working in the section where they had the group home will come as a group, and it had to be about 20 kids that range from like 7 maybe to like late teens. And when I tell you, if you have a family that is strong and foundational, be very glad that you are not in a situation like that. Because anybody who has seen how kids are in a group home or in a group home setting knows that it can get rough in there. It can get very rough and it can get dangerous living in there, because you have all kids from all walks of life literally huddled in one house together, all different types of personalities. You don't know what they've gone through. You don't know. It's like some of these kids come from homes that are so broken that they look like they've been grinded into dust, like nothing was ever there. Like some of them come from homes where they were abused, maybe sexually assaulted. Some probably were around parents that did drugs. Some of them probably did drugs, maybe not on their own. Some maybe have been in homes where they've had prostitutes coming in and out of the home. It's crazy. And you can tell how it is because a lot of those kids, they're out of control, but they can't help it because they've never been in a stable environment for too long. And you got to think a lot of them are lashing out because they've probably been rotated throughout in and out of the system so many times that they've never been grounded and never been rooted in one space for too long. That's why when you think of people who they call themselves army brats, if they have parents that's in the military, that they have to travel from place to place and they can never find themselves grounded in one place and they can't make friends for too long. That messes with your mental. It really does mess with your mental. And then on top of that, in them group homes, a lot of them get treated bad in there, not by the other kids that's there, but sometimes by the staff. But if you're lucky to get out of that situation, be very fortunate in hopes that, you don't do anything and have to go back. But anyway, I just had to, get that out there just in case people don't know how rough group homes can be. But anyway, she was, in foster care. So who she was living with was not her biological parents. I don't know what the situation is with her parents, her actual parents. But anyway, she called the cops because she said some people were coming over to jump her. And I think it was like 2 of them, 2 or 3 that were coming over to jump one girl. Now, when they led with this story initially, they said that it was 2 or 3 other girls. However, it has been revealed that these 2 or 3 other people that were coming over to jump her were not girls at all. These were grown women. So you got to ask yourself one question. Why were grown women coming over to jump a 16-year-old girl? Oh, White Vision, you said it was 5 women? Okay, 5, 3, 2. It was more than one. We know that. Because to jump somebody, it usually involves more than one person. 1-on-1 is a fight. 2 people, if another person jumping, that's a jump. These were grown women. And when I say grown, I'm talking about some of them were probably almost twice her age. Let's just put it this way. If they were teen moms and had her at the age she is now, that they would be her mother. What's going on, Amara? Brittany said one was 29 and 30 or 30. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that one of them was like 30 and she's 16. So like I said, you got to ask yourself, why was grown women coming over to this girl's house to jump her? Grown women. They keep leaving that part out there because they kept leading with that these were girls that were fighting another girl. No. It's just the fact that from that angle, she looked like another girl, but no, she was a grown woman. So, they get into it. They start, fighting and everything like this. So this is after Makiyah's already called the cops. She's already called the cops, so they're on their way. And then, the story of she's coming out of the house. And then that's when it gets physical, like they're fighting. Now, in one part of it, you see another man off to the side, and he tosses one of the women, because at this point we've determined that I don't think that was a girl, to the ground. And I believe he kicks her, tosses her to the ground, and he kicks her. And then, you keep, Makiyah and the one in the pink are fighting. Like they're physically fighting at this point. Light Vision says the foster mother called them to straighten her out, to make her clean the house, but they had been arguing with her the day before. Wow. And she probably didn't even know. She probably didn't know that she was that was the case. So this was a festering point. It got to a boiling point. So this isn't something that just happened that particular day. It's something that started the day before and carried over to the next day. And see, Makiyah probably thought, oh, they're coming over here. They're going to try to get me. So, like I said, back to them. They're fighting right now. And then the cops show up. Makiyah has the knife in her hand. And it leads into this pose that you can see right here on the right side of the picture of her. And then she gets shot one time in the back. And then that's what causes her to turn around. And then that's when she gets shot 3 more times in the front. And that's what kills her. And then it kind of just stops from there. One thing people left out when it came to this shooting was the cop yelling out "Blue Lives Matter." Did anybody catch that? Did anybody catch that in the video? Did anyone catch that? That the cop had yelled out "Blue Lives Matter." Maybe not right after he shot her, but in the midst of all the chaos. He yelled out "Blue Lives Matter." This was like shortly after Makiyah had got shot and she's laid out on the ground. Now, it's a mixed bag of reactions to this. Some people are saying that the cop had to do what he had to do. Then you had some people saying he could have shot maybe in the leg, to bring her down, or use a taser to weaken her, and they didn't have to shoot her and everything like that. Then you have some people that's saying that he was in the right. I mean, not in the right. That he shouldn't have done that, and he could have found alternative ways and whatnot. Like I said, it's a very mixed bag of how people are responding to this unfortunate event, because the whole thing is unfortunate from beginning to end, from all sides. And then when I keep thinking about what happened here, I think about this video that I came across that happened a couple years ago, where you had this PC man come out of wherever he was at after the cops were called on him. And he's literally waving around a knife, literally waving it around in the cops' faces. And he's actually saying verbally to them, I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to stab you, or I'm going to slice you up, or do whatever the case may be. And nothing happens to him. How many incidents have we seen where PC men and women have gotten in police faces, whether verbally or physically, and the most they'll do to them is just throw the cuffs on them and then put them in a squad car and take them down to the precinct? We've seen it plenty of times. I told somebody on Twitter the other day, I could make a compilation of videos showing that, whether they're a couple years old or this year old. But the thing of the matter is, the media, the mainstream media, will blow something up like this because they have a point to prove. The only thing that they could put out there really about them is a mass shooting, because that can't be ignored. Widely, that can't be ignored. Now, a lot of other people were saying, well, why did Makiyah come outside to confront them? She should have stayed in the house and waited for the cops to arrive. A lot of people don't even know whether or not Makiyah was already outside. How do we know that Makiyah did not call the cops while she was outside? And then on top of that, you got to think this is a woman, a young girl who was in foster care, which means at one point she was in a group home. So she's probably never really had a moment in her life where she's had complete closure or something to call her own and everything like that. She probably thought that these women coming over to that house were coming to invade on her. And she probably got scared and panicked. You ever been in that position, like when you feel like someone's about to invade on you and you feel like you have to do everything you can to protect whatever they're trying to invade? That's probably what she was thinking in that moment. Oh, there's a lot to blame for when it comes to her murder, to her death for sure. And most of the blame is on these adults. And see, the thing is, when you're fighting someone, it's a lot of adrenaline rushing going on. You black out and you go into another zone. All you're worrying about is, did I kick this person's ass, or did this person kick my ass, or did we kick each other's ass? In that moment, you're not thinking of anything else. You black out. You're in another zone. So when she was fighting this woman, she blacked out. And I was watching a live stream yesterday with Michi X. She was talking about this. And she had mentioned something about how Makiyah was holding the knife was very interesting. She said she didn't hold the knife with the blade pointed toward the woman. She said she held the knife with the blade pointing back, with the handle pointing toward the woman, as if the only thing she could have did with her was just hit her over the head with the handle. And people kept putting out there that she came out there with a kitchen knife. I looked at that knife. That was a steak knife. I'm like, y'all going to need to know how to know how to label your knives, because that was not a butcher knife. A butcher knife looks like something Michael Myers will walk around with. A steak knife is just that. It's for cutting steak. But I'm going to be honest with you. I truly believe, even with all of this was going on, that the cop that shot and killed her is probably not going to get charged with anything. Like, looking at all of this, and even if we go through this with a fine-tooth comb, that cop is probably not going to get charged with a goddamn thing. Like, I'm almost prepared to hear them say that he's not going to get any charges. Oh yeah, like I said, like Vision said, those women need to be held responsible for death. Like I said, there's a lot of responsibility that needs to be held with this girl's death, because it could have definitely been avoided for sure. I just wish that she had not called the police. That's the only thing I wish she did not do. And speaking of defending self, have you ever noticed that it seems like every time a black person defends themselves, no matter who they're defending themselves against, if it's in public, the person that's always the one that's defending themselves always seems to be the one that ends up dead? It's almost as if we're not allowed to defend ourselves. And I'm willing to bet that all the bootlicks and all the people that was upset about what occurred with the Derek Chauvin verdict and the outcome, when this happened right here, they were salivating at the mouth. They were foaming at the mouth like a dog in heat when they found this out, so they could have another talking point. They've already started to pipe out the video saying how this was justified and how she was in the wrong and how that cop was right and all types of stuff like that. They've already started. They've been started. They're ongoing right now, and they're probably going to hang on to this until the next one arrives. They felt one little loss, a little bit of a loss that day, and then this rotates right back around, and now they feel like they have a win. You said Candace was the first person I saw salivating was that Fakem. And anyone who knows about me knows who I'm talking about when I say Fakem. And I'm not surprised that the Coonstress has something to say. That's who she is. She's a self-hating bitch. But I don't listen to people like that, so. But yeah, like I said, this story is just bad all the way around. Like, this thing does not, this story, this situation does not end well for any person involved, especially Makiyah, because now she's gone. She's deceased. She's not coming back. But it's going to be a long, hot summer, and it's still spring. And it's only the end of April. We haven't gotten to May yet. And you know, we got to get through May before we get to June, when summer officially kicks off. But I'm sure there's going to be many more updates that's going to come as the time progresses on with this story. But like I said, I'm calling it now. They're not going to charge that cop with anything. I will be pleasantly surprised if they do. If they even charge him with just one little thing, even if it's a minor thing, I would be shocked. Well, Light Visions, if you're talking about the Coonstress, I don't expect much from her at all. Like, it's the Coonstress. I know it's tourist season on 007 Spidey. I know what it is. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video or end the stream on that note. Like I said, I came on a little bit earlier today because I'm gonna be preoccupied later on, so I couldn't come on at the time that I usually come on. But I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. If y'all are new, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, turn that bell on. If you have not done so already, whether you're new or a veteran, make sure y'all text that number that is scrolling at the bottom with the banner so y'all can get notifications whenever I upload a new video or go live, because you know the notifications on YouTube are whack, as we all know. And of course, I'll be back on my main channel tomorrow with the 3-video upload. And 007 Spidey, you don't have to say it because I'm gonna say it for you. Yes, next Friday will be the monthly Freestyle Friday, because I already know that and I know you're gonna be one of the first people that's gonna try to get up here to say your spill. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here. Definitely look out for my Mortal Kombat review that'll be up tomorrow. That's why I'm actually doing this review today, because I'm seeing it later on this evening. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all later.